Luna 7 Radio.
Good lunar morning to you and yours, residents. After another 350-odd hours of frigid, airless night, our little hamlet once again emerges into daylight. As the first rays of light begin to penetrate the dome above our heads, digital roosters crow from their bass-amplified neck woofers, and the Supreme Magistrate's black-clad death squad settle in for 2 well-lit and thus mostly crime-free weeks. Dawn's approach is always a special time here in Luna 7. The transflagulan sky-raptors descend from the dome's rafters and grace our morning skies with their calls of "Buffaw, buffaw!" Little Venus comes alive with the hustle and bustle of illicit black market trade, and the savage moon beasts which live in the lava tubes outside of town will now awaken from their frozen slumber to once again pound futilely with their fists and crudely fashioned clubs at the polycarbonate dome which protects us from lunar vacuum. The Supreme Magistrate and Holy Divine Glorious, though self-proclaimed, Moon Emperor Zagnot IV, as well as our local Chamber of Commerce would like to remind residents that while taunting the moon beasts may be fun, and is, of course, legally permissible, flash photography of them remains, as always, strictly forbidden. Not because it would in any way harm them, but simply because cameras with flashes on them are now more than 200 years old. And as always, the colony's ban on hipsters remains in effect. Remember, residents, only you can prevent another outbreak of hipsters like the one that leveled the town back in 2303. So if you see something, say something. And now for the news. Deep below us, in the bowels of the colony where only methane breathers and artificial life forms can even survive, the Guild of Robot Minions has announced that next week will be their annual bake sale. We are told that we may expect all of the traditional fare such as regolith crumble surprise, 80-weight eclairs, transmission oil tarts, uranium sploders, and the ever-popular lemon squares. In other news, the Technobabble Society of Rigel Kentaurus 6 put out a press release reminding residents of the importance of defluxing their carbonic temporal impellers regularly. A polarity reversal a day keeps the quantum mechanic at bay, said Society spokesblob Jairus Forsnax Miller. This, as most residents will already know, should go without saying, but unfortunately some folks need to be reminded on a regular basis, and I, as a responsible radio host, will always make sure to pass on any messages relating to public safety. I can assure you that no one wants a repeat of last year's incident, when village idiot Tobias Armstrong nearly sucked the entire colony into an unstable dimensional vortex when he simply forgot to deflux his carbonic impeller for nearly a year. Such a rookie mistake. Look, Tobias, we all know your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was the first man to set foot on the lunar surface, but that doesn't entitle you to continually put our entire settlement in danger of destruction at the quantum level. But I digress. Speaking on behalf of the dock workers and freight extraterrestrials local number 313, Arble Tramble, Union spokesbean from the beyond, said the following on a call to the station earlier this morning.
Just a friendly reminder that Gizbops on the east end of Luna 7 may flarp and unflarp only during lunar night, and only in the designated yellow zones. Any flarping during lunar day or outside of the designated yellow zones may impede giant radioactive ant traffic coming from loading docks 7 and 8. And we all know what happens if dock traffic gets interrupted. The Supreme Magistrate's death squads will make sure any offenders end up outside the dome, sleeping with the moon fishes.
While it is true that the Supreme Magistrate does indeed get rather upset if black market trade is disrupted, this station would like to take a moment to remind listeners that it is only through the generosity of our villainous overlord that we, as a colony, are able to afford the air that we breathe and the food that we put into our mouths, or other orifices depending on species. It is through his magnificence and beneficence that we are able to live here as free men, women, and third-gender beings, in a colony free of the oppressive and sanctimonious, albeit very, very comfortable and safe, nanny state that is Earth and the other moon colonies. Listeners, it appears we have a visitor here in the station. What a treat! It's Constable Clark, head of the Magistrate's roving death squads. Oh, okay. Of course. I am sorry, listeners, but the kind officer has just reminded me that I am desperately late for my required monthly re-education course over at the Dark Citadel's Learning Annex. So I will sign off with, hope to see you for the evening show?
Luna 7 Radio is produced by Outworld Press. It is written by Emerson Flynn and stars Mark Roddy as Felix Zorgstein. It is presented ad-free for your listening pleasure and is therefore supported only by listener contributions. If you would like to drop a tip in our tip jar, please visit tinyurl.com/Luna7tipjar. For more information on the podcast, to contact us, or to purchase our merch, you may visit our website at www.luna7radio.tk.